Right. Oh, good morning, and welcome to the Olympian Table. I'm James Lee, and I got my special guest here, Aaron Thomas. How you doing, brother?
I'm back 2 weeks in a row,
Hey,
guys.
man, you are no longer a guest. You are welcome. This house, mi casa, su casa.
Thank
we
you, sir.
We appreciate you taking some time out your busy schedule.
Yeah, it's good to see y'all. How you doing today, James?
Man, I can't complain, brother. Can't complain. It's another Thursday. Just trying to get everything moving and shaking in the world of real estate. You know how that goes. Mortgage finance. We just
closing out the week. Closing
it out, man. It's about mid-month, so it starts to get a little hairy around sometimes. But we're getting close to getting deals done, and that's always exciting.
That is fun. That's fun.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys joining us here at the Olympian Table. Our illustrious host is out still, but he'll be returning with us next week. So we wish him well while he's away. But we're going to jump in and just kind of talk about some things as we always do, the topics that are hot on our mind and what's maybe hot on your mind. So feel free to get us some questions in the question box. And our information, of course, is down in the description if you need to reach out to us. So first things first, we're all like moviegoers. Everybody kind of likes to see movies, whether you go out to the theater or if you are streaming or binging at home, right?
Yeah, now you can do either one, but
either one.
Ask my wife if she wants to go to the theater and get that. Apparently, the popcorn at the movie tastes better.
Really? Well, does she does know they sell that in the grocery store now. The movie theater
butter. Yeah, they all taste the same. It's the whole experience, I guess.
I guess so, man. They just want so much for it. It's just it gets expensive. But with that being the case, AMC is walking into a space where no movie theater has gone before, and they are now accepting Bitcoin for movie tickets by the end of the year, shall I say. I won't say immediately. They plan to do it by the end of the year to accept movie payments by Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, forgot about AMC. Now you didn't.
Now,
So-
hey, you know what? I didn't even look to see where they were hovering at about today. Let me look real fast.
AMC had was it the same thing as GameStop?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, they had a run.
Situation.
And I think that's why they did it too. I don't think they necessarily, well, I think they do want to accept Bitcoin as a payment, but I think it's more of just a publicity thing.
I think it's a publicity.
Oh, they're right at $32 this morning. So
What was the high when they?
Oh, it was
they got
70.
up to it's like $70.
Yeah.
Because I sold too early. I think I sold at about $37, $38.
Oh, then it went up to 70.
Yeah,
Oh,
because when I got in, man, I mean it was like $2 or something.
Yeah,
it gotten down, so it ended up climbing up, and I'm sorry, it was like $8, and then it dropped down to $2, so I was losing. I just decided I was going to stay in. So when it hit 30 something,
yeah, you gotta
I
sell
was like,
out.
oh, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's man, it's one of those things. Arms are sweating.
Yes, but had I stayed in for a
Nothing
little
wrong with
longer,
getting paid, man.
yes,
Nothing wrong with getting paid. But yeah, this is like I found this chart, and it's the market cap of AMC, and look, it's never been over $5 billion.
That's crazy.
And all of a sudden, 2021, the worst year of arguably for the United States,
especially for the entertainment industry.
Literally, it's going to the moon. Straight parabolic move.
Straight up, man. It's crazy.
So, yeah, what do you think, James? Do you think it was a publicity move?
Well, I think it is, because they've even when they had that bounce up to 70 and it came back down, it's been stable or kind of around that area for now. But first and foremost, they're pioneers when it comes to accepting that as currency. I mean, shoot, I'm assuming they're going to have some type of device or something at the door, or if they're going to make you say, hey, you can only use it if you're buying them online or whatever the case is. But the fact remains is they are stepping out into that space and being first to say, hey, yeah, come on out as a consumer and use your Bitcoin.
The article IT system place, so
yeah, for concessions too.
Yeah, so
it says
really
concessions and movie tickets.
So
if purchased online.
You said if
purchased online. So what I think that means is if it's on an app. If you use the
app,
it has to be. Get your phones out. Get ready. If you got some Bitcoin, you can watch those movies. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be comparable to $1 or $15 for a soda.
Right.
Well, with inflation, $400.
Exactly.
So it's $15 for a soda, $17 for some popcorn. But if you get them together as a combo, it comes out to $31 instead of
instead of $32.
Exactly. So, and don't forget the barely edible hot dog that they have there.
I haven't eaten a hot dog in years from the movie theater.
It's crazy.
But I mean, it is everyone knows who AMC is. They're a big company. So I mean, I can't say it's a bad move, but it's definitely, in case you forgot, in case you were going to Cinemark and you're a Bitcoin guy, now you're going to go back to AMC. So it's just one of those things where, I mean, they're all over Houston. Pretty sure other cities, they're
they're all over.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where, like you said, publicity is bad publicity.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it's putting them out there. I mean, and Bitcoin's still kind of hovering about 44 grand. So it's. I mean, shoot, it's a move. It's not going away. So you may as well embrace it, and that would for them. It could get some more traffic.
Yeah. It gets more. That's what I'm saying. More traffic. Gets their name out there. But do you think they're starting something here? Are they starting the movement, or
that's what I'm saying? It's like they're the pioneers. I think they will.
What are
you think Cinemark's not going to be right behind this?
I think they're just trying to push it into the mainstream,
right?
Because right now there's talks about like even if you use Bitcoin to pay, technically have to pay capital gains tax on it. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Oh wow!
Because it's a security as deemed by the SEC. But it's really a currency, cryptocurrency, right?
Right.
But yeah, to go to AMC, they have 978 theaters
across the country
and 10,000.
Wow,
that's a lot of screens.
Yeah, a lot of screens.
Yeah, and they've been. I mean, I can see where they're coming from because last year was tough. This year has been tough. My wife and I went to the movies this past weekend. Yeah, this past weekend. And there was no one there still. We went to, it wasn't AMC, it was Cinemark. But we went to see my boy Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the Jungle Cruise movie. And there was one other couple in the movie theater.
Really?
It was like 8:30 too.
At night?
8:30 on Friday night.
Wow.
Yeah, so had some in-laws in town, some babysitters. So me and wifey said date night, but there was no one there. Like no lines for concessions.
Yeah, that's good for you though.
Good for you.
Yeah,
good for you.
Yeah. But it's just showing what's going on with the movie, especially since you're home now.
Yeah, and that's kind of like they say, a video killed the radio star.
Yeah.
Man, this whole streaming thing, man, has really kind of put some places out of business because you can literally they're having movies going directly coming to America too, went directly to Amazon.
Yeah, all the movies are going directly
they're going
somewhere.
Straight somewhere.
What movie came out on? Oh, it was Space Jam came out on HBO.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Space Jam came out. So one of my friends, he has a nice house, has a theater room. We went to his cinemas.
Oh, okay.
We got the little,
and checked it out?
Yeah, we went to his cinemas and got a little movie theater butter popcorn, which my wife was complaining that it wasn't.
It wasn't the same. Oh my goodness.
But we were running late, so we couldn't pick up the real popcorn.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man, all of the movies are coming out on some type of platform. Like Space Jam was HBO. I think Jungle Cruise comes out on Disney Plus as well if you want to buy it.
Oh, it does. I got Disney Plus.
Yeah, you have to. With the movies that come out newer, you have to buy them. I think they're like $20 or $30.
Oh, okay.
And you get to keep it
okay.
obviously on your thing, but some of them they're releasing, and then a lot of them they're just you have to buy as well. The ones that are supposed to be big screen. So it's different, man. It's different, and some people don't. I kind of like the experience of going to the movie theaters, but some people they would rather be at home.
You know, we had
It's true.
and
it's cool. I don't know. It's not as cool now because, of course, with the whole COVID situation, you got people, always kind of wondering, oh man, often. What was he doing?
Yeah.
So, and of course, funny because you think of an old movie. I'm dating myself. Called Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman, way back in the day. Julianne Moore, Dustin Hoffman. That was literally about a disease that broke out. And they were showing people in movie theaters, and it was spreading all around. So, that always goes back to my mind when you think about that kind of stuff. So, nevertheless, man, hey, it happens.
Yeah.
And kudos to AMC, I say, with stepping out there and being the first one to say, hey, we're going to go ahead and take this currency.
I don't think they have anything to lose at this point.
They really don't.
Yeah, so I was like, they don't have anything to lose. So
I mean, with 4 people in the theater on a Friday night at 8:30, what do you have to lose?
I mean, you have nothing to lose at this point. So it can't. It might not have been the best move, but it's not a bad move either.
You know what I'm surprised that we haven't seen though? These movie theaters, be it AMC or Cinemark, having some type of streaming platform where you can tap into the movie theater feed or something along those lines.
So they're competing with that. Would be competing with like
it would
with the streaming service.
Disney,
When I first got into AMC, like in like the $10, one of the big catalysts a lot of these people were betting on was that they were coming out with a streaming service at some point,
right,
over the next 5 years. Like I don't remember if it's in their business plan or if it's just speculative, but people are counting on that to happen. Yeah. So shareholders are depending on that pretty much.
So the thing is, how are they going to compete with Disney Plus?
Exactly.
A lot of the movies that are coming out, they're going to theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney owns everything now. They own ESPN.
They
so
do.
like,
They do.
I mean, just not Disney, but like Disney's one of the biggest producers of movies, and like, so a lot of these Pixar movies.
you beat them. Or you join them.
That's
right.
Would you pay them? I don't know. How would that work if AMC had a platform and Disney has their Disney Plus? So it's kind of one of those things where how would that work together?
Well, I think there's always going to be that audience that wants, because that's why you still have drive-ins around movie theaters, right? So you're still going to have that group of people that want to go to the movies for the popcorn or for whatever the deal is. But if you go ahead and join the team, so look, we're going to keep this platform, enhance that experience maybe a little bit more, and have the feed run through one of Disney servers or one of the other big guys servers, and it's still available. It could be sold as a membership, so to speak, where you're paying it, monthly or whatever.
They have memberships. They even have memberships at movie theaters now. I saw that.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So.
But what do you really get? I mean, you're not getting free movies. Really.
Well, not free movies. Nothing's free.
Right, they're not free. Exactly.
You're getting.
It could happen, man. I mean,
but it's like GameStop, right? People were saying that no one's going to want to go into the store and buy games, but there's definitely gamers out there who will always want that hard copy, whether it be mailing it to you or going. Some people like going and doing because they release games at midnight. They used to. I don't know if they still do it, but people do that. It's like part of the experience.
It's the experience.
So I bought my last hard game. It was the 2K 21.
Oh, really?
The Kobe edition.
Oh, you bought?
I had to have the hard copy. I mean, that's my.
Oh, you got that?
I got that.
See,
it's I downloaded the regular version of it. But
did you play 2K?
I wanted to have I got it. 2K.
Yeah.
Y'all about to piece each other up on 2K or what?
Oh man, the funny about 2K is like we got an Xbox. I haven't played video games in college, and we got an Xbox from some lady in the neighborhood that my wife found. She's always Facebook Marketplace, and we got an Xbox. I'm like, man, I haven't played Xbox in so long that you could download it. I feel old. I'm like, man, you go on here. I got like a little Game Pass. I pay like $15 a month for it. You can download like 2Ks on there.
Game Pass.
Yeah. So
I don't even have discs for most of my
games. So it's like it's whoa. So it's crazy that happened. But my son, he's always like he's been with me because he's going to school, but he's like been playing like I'm working. He's playing 2K, so
Yeah.
he's trying to get his 2K game right. So I'm waiting.
Learn them young, man. Learn them
Yeah.
young.
He'll learn a lot of game sense for basketball and stuff like
Well,
that.
yeah,
too.
you learn. Yeah, he's learning from and like my wife's an occupational therapist, so they deal with like kids with autism and things like that.
Right.
And I like we don't want them to play video games all the time, but it's hand-eye coordination type things. It works for that as
will
well.
help,
Yeah. So like he said, game sense. So
Yeah, because the games are so much more realistic now, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like double dribble
Man,
now.
you-
I remember
you know that,
double
Jordan.
dribble was back in the day, man. It was just little dude running around. You can go to one spot.
Yeah.
Once you get down and shoot it 100 times, it
Yeah.
go in every single time.
Yeah,
You know?
Now they like make you do pick and rolls, like they do all
Yes.
the zone defense, like they put it all
Yes.
in there. So
and,
you learn about the
and there's
game.
no question who that player is because they
Oh, yeah.
look just like him. I'm like,
Yeah.
man,
Exactly.
yeah, everything. Jordan, you can see the sweat glistening off
All
his
of
head. Everything.
All of it. It's crazy. Yeah. So, hey, again, I mean, we'll see how that goes with the whole AMC Bitcoin deal being the case, and who's going to be following in their footsteps on it. So, more on some cryptocurrency stuff. We got some cryptocurrency amendment blocked in the Senate. Looks like Rick Shelby.
Yeah, Richard Shelby. It's like a weird story because it's about cryptocurrency, but it's really not. It's more of a political story, I think, because this guy Richard Shelby.
He's from
this is
Alabama,
him.
right?
Yeah, he's an Alabama senator. He in his infrastructure bill, they turned down his defense bill or like his defense budget. He wanted like 50 million or 50 billion extra dollars or something, and they voted no on it. And so he's like 80 or something. It says in here. Either way, he's old. He's on 50 billion. Yeah, so billion is a lot
billion
different
with
from
a B.
million. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's super old, and he was the only person to turn down the amendment because he didn't get his defense budget approved, and so he just decided to stop the party in spite. It's not even that he genuinely disagreed.
agree, right.
He just was pissed off,
Man.
And so So I guess the topic to discuss here is this how the politics should work behind it? I mean, obviously we all know the answer to it, but this is how the game is played.
It is.
And what is the result or the solution to this? You know,
Limited terms.
limited terms.
I'm telling you, man, these elections that we push every 4 years, get out and vote. Make sure you're registered. That should be done every freaking year so that when these midterm elections come up, people can get to the polls and vote people like this out. Now, I don't know this guy. He's from my home state, but I don't know what he's about. But I feel like if you take your personal agenda to make a decision based on something, that's not responsible if you're supposed to be
There's a word for that. It's called
Yeah.
salty.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you're supposed to be representing the people.
Yeah.
So the decision that you make should be based on the majority of the folks that you represent, not because, oh, y'all didn't do this for me. Okay, well, I'm not going to do so and so. I mean, come on.
And we're talking about age here as well. Like some of these guys in the government are
80,
ancient.
bruh.
Like,
They don't even know how to work their iPhones, and they're like
it's
making our laws.
So they grew up in. I mean, they're still growing at 80, but still, like you grew up in a time where
He's 87
when
years
you
old.
when you were 18, when you were 87 years old, so he was 18.
He's been in office since 1987.
So this is like that's not.
It's a
Come
different
on.
world. And
Yeah.
plus, like the reason he was comfortable with doing this is because he already announced he's retiring next year. So say all of Alabama says, "Screw this guy, we're gonna vote him out." He doesn't care. You know what I mean? He does not. He literally does not
he's been
care.
he's been in office half his life, and
Yeah.
he has a long life. Like so.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy that you can be. I don't know. I just think for politics wise, like you're 80, the world has changed so much. The United States has changed so much since since you've been in office.
I mean,
Right.
Since you,
5 years, the world or the United States has.
yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely.
Imagine when did iPhone start coming out? I know when I
What was
was
that,
like
2000?
2008 or 7, right?
Yeah, I think the first one.
Because I had I'm team Android, so.
Boo, them green bubbles.
But I remember, the iPhone came out. It was so cool. Then Google had the first Android phone that came out, and it flipped up. It was
2007.
like 2007, right?
Yeah.
So that's in like, man, in what, 14 years? Like the iPhone went from no one had a phone at all. We had flip phones where you could play Snake to now we have a phone where you can do everything. Yeah.
Literal
So,
computer in your
and that's
pocket.
in 14 years. And this guy's been in the office since 1987. So he's been in the office for 34 years. Like that. I mean, so it shows what's changed over time.
Right.
And that, I mean, some people can possibly do that, be in the office and see different changes. But I mean, I don't see a lot of people that are in a position like that.
The core values really don't change.
Yeah.
Yeah, to your point.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like they really don't change your core values on it. But if this guy, if he's a selfish guy that he just wants his way, that's not gonna change with him.
Yeah.
He just wants but that's the deal. When you have these players in the game the whole time, and we all know they get on TV and they fuss and they yell and all blah blah. These dudes are friends afterwards.
Yeah.
They go to the bar, hang out, go to each other's houses.
Yeah.
But if you're doing all of this stuff and in his position, you're going to do something just out of spite because, didn't follow through with what I wanted you to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not cool.
But see, it shouldn't be like this. But I mean, it's similar to, I mean, even work environments, you know, there's people in hire that they get salty and then it's like, so, I mean, it's all over. So it just doesn't apply to the government. It's also work as well. So it's just like, it shouldn't be like that. But man, I mean, how's it going to change? That's the question.
Midterm elections. Limited terms.
Yeah. And
you got to limit these for maybe 30 plus years, bro.
Man, he's been in office.
Come on, man.
He's been in office before I was born.
He was in office. Let's see, 80. Reagan was still in office.
Before I was conceived.
Reagan was still in office when this dude when he started. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's there, but I don't know. We all have different points of view, but I mean, 34 years in office.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Like,
vote, people. Vote, not just the big elections every 4 years. Vote for your senators and your Congress people. Got to get out there and vote. Your city councilmen, all of it matters. Those votes matter too.
And this is another thing I bring up at 87 years old. Don't call my boy Biden for this. But at 87 years old, do you have a competency test every year?
No, they're not doing it.
Because I know the first thought is like, man, our president.
And you know what? And sometimes it's just hard to listen, you know. And you know, you got age comes into question, and they said, you know, you had a speech impediment, all that stuff. But it, you know, I don't know, man. When you have someone of that caliber, be it in a senator position or president position, you want them to
100% competent.
Yes. I don't need you second guessing. Did I brush my teeth this morning?
Yeah.
No, man. I need you to be sure.
And it's not only age. It's something that. It's not age. Like, because like some people are, you know, 40 and they have dementia.
Exactly.
And like, so it's different for everyone. But like, I mean, at some point you got to be like, all right, so we need to set some type of precedent, something here.
Exactly.
Some type of benchmark that, like, you know,
if you can't do this,
we're making government decisions. Like,
absolutely.
And you over here worried about if you brush your teeth in the morning. So that's just another thing that comes to my mind. 87 years old. That's a lot of years.
It is a lot of years.
A lot of years.
It definitely is a lot of years. So
I mean, this guy was probably around before the automobiles were.
Before modern cars were coming out. So people were still driving.
He's probably losing his mind. He sees electric cars.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And then conveniently enough, these are his top donors. And you got big banks.
Big commercial banks.
Generational wealth and a donation from
Oshkosh.
Wow.
But go forward with this story. Our boy from Texas,
Ted Cruz.
Yeah, he actually had something to say about this. So actually, what the amendment was trying to say in the bill was that crypto miners are exchanges. So they would be taxed by the IRS as an exchange. So basically if you're a crypto miner, you are Robinhood and you're going to get taxed as such.
Gotcha.
And Mr. Cruz has very good way to, I mean, I don't like Cruz, but this is the first time I've ever
agreed with him, right?
With something he said. I'll give it to him.
The IRS. it would force every single participant in the cryptocurrency structure to operate as a financial institution, which would mean they would have to provide consumer information to the IRS, even if they don't have access to that information. This overly broad definition of the word broker will block rapid innovation in cryptocurrencies, and it will endanger the privacy of many Americans in cryptocurrencies. This is wrong. So I applaud my colleagues for trying to find an incremental approach. Unfortunately, because the senator from Vermont objected, that incremental approach hasn't been adopted. So let's exercise a brief, shining moment of common sense. And let's recognize, if we've gathered all 100 senators in this chamber and asked them to stand up and articulate 2 sentences defining what in the hell a cryptocurrency is, that you would not get greater than 5 who could answer that question.
He's right.
Man, tell him.
Correct.
Tell him,
He's
Teddy.
Given that reality,
Tell him, Teddy.
the barest exercise of prudence would say we shouldn't regulate something we don't yet understand. We should actually take the time.
Man, he's
to try to
preaching, bro.
Yeah, that might be
He's
right.
preaching, bro.
consider the
Man, I can't.
consequences.
Like I
We
said,
shouldn't
like you
destroy
said, I'm not.
people's lives and
I'm not the biggest fan,
livelihoods.
but
So to his point, which, mind you, we probably will find out in a few years that Ted Cruz is a Bitcoin billionaire.
yeah. Oh yeah. Of course.
But nevertheless,
Skin in the
I
game.
was a part of a meeting for my HOA where they were talking about, I live in a gated community, and they were talking about putting a street in that would run through the back side of the community, and it would allow access, just to whoever. And we were like, wait a minute. That basically just
Defeats
kind
the
of
purpose.
eliminates the purpose of having the gates, right? But these developers were so gray with the answer, with everything, and there wasn't information. Nobody really understood what they were trying to talk about, but they wanted a vote that night.
if you're gonna
Right.
propose something, I better understand exactly what I'm
Yes.
voting. You can't
So-
vote on something you don't.
Bro, they called for the vote, and it was a Zoom call, so we're all able, to put in the chat. And I was like, wait a minute, what are y'all voting on? We don't
Yeah.
even know what are y'all. What does anyone understand what we're voting? And this one lady read the chat, and she said, wait a minute, guys. Do we even have all the information that we need to make this bro, that meeting was long, but at the end, they pulled it off the table. There was no vote.
Yeah, you can't vote.
And
on
so you can't vote on
I
something
mean, you can
that you
vote on
don't
something
know.
you don't understand, but at that point, you vote a certain way, it gets approved, and then you're mad because they
Exactly.
did it the way they wanted to do it, and
Right.
that's not what you agreed upon.
So I have to applaud them for this one, at least been stepping up and saying, hey,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
these fools don't even know what Bitcoin is. They don't know what cryptocurrency
Yeah,
is.
that was really, really good. But does he have cryptocurrency?
Probably.
that's
Knowing
yeah.
Ted Cruz, he probably does.
We know he has
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
cryptocurrency. Even if he doesn't understand it, he's like, hey, give me some of whatever they
Yeah.
call it over there.
What's that? You call that a Ethereum?
Ethereum. Yeah.
Yeah, give me some of that.
But he's going to be on the Palm podcast. He agreed
Oh, he's
to
gonna
go
be on
on
the
there.
Palm podcast?
Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
that's going to be interesting to hear him actually talk about it for an hour and see how much he actually knows.
Yeah. Because I mean,
You
3
can
to
get
5
your PR
minutes.
team to type
Yeah.
something up for you
Oh,
real
yeah.
quick. So
You can do a little a minute and a half interview, like
Yeah.
a little clip. You can do that, but
Yeah.
an hour?
a whole hour discussion.
Yeah, you
and
can't fake
props
that.
to him if he knows what he's talking about, especially because I think Texas is one of the top mining states in the country.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the top. Yeah,
I didn't even know
I
that.
didn't know
it's
that either.
Texas, Wyoming, and I want to say Florida. Those are the 3 big states.
Wow.
So I think Texas is the number 1 for renewable mining energy.
Ah, gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
they're on the map. So I think it's good that he's somewhat educated on it.
Well, that's cool, man, because people
Well,
cash
even
in.
if he's not educated himself, he's calling out people that aren't educated.
Yeah.
Because that's what's important. Like,
And then, so another thing is just to show people like how big Bitcoin space is. There's an exchange. Well, I mean, we can pull up Coinbase too, but FTX is an exchange that started in San Francisco, and the market cap. This is a U.S. company, right? They have their own token, and let's see if I can type correct. So we're talking about one company that has $1 billion. Make my life harder, please. So with the market cap of,
Can't see it all over.
Awesome. Love it.
There you go.
4.5. So it's a $4.5 billion company that we're talking about. And this is one exchange. And you have Coinbase, all these other exchanges that are doing it. So this is a big industry we're talking about. FTX?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It's a $4.5 billion industry or market cap, but half of the service isn't even allowed in the U.S. because it's outlawed by the government because it's cryptocurrency is still frowned upon.
Yeah.
So imagine if you had that full exposure here.
To
You would just
everything.
innovate. Like, it'd be crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But they can't regulate it, so they don't want it.
Yeah, right.
Wait.
They have a $54 billion market cap. So that's a $60 billion market cap.
Yeah, it's like Coinbase
between
is what I've heard about.
A lot of money we're talking about. So
Absolutely.
I hope they figure it out because that's a lot of jobs.
It is, man, and I think if again we got these old dudes in power, if you had some, and I'm not saying you got to get every young person in there because some
you
young
have
folks
a good mix though.
they'll run. You got to have someone in there that understands it to help them understand. Say, you know what, we're spending all this money. We could use some of this, even if you taxed it a little bit, to generate some income to pay for some of this stuff and this whole infrastructure crap that they're talking about. So,
I definitely agree.
I'm with it.
Well, it's just, I mean, I get not on the same scale, but like you talk about marijuana and the taxation of marijuana, and I mean, marijuana versus alcohol, which is worse. Discussion, but for me, I'm like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
So, but it has to be a cash business in the states that it's. So it's like, come on. Like,
Not anymore though. You know that?
I didn't know
I went to Vegas 2 months ago. I was telling them about this. When I went in 2019, it was cash only.
Yeah.
This past time I went, I paid with credit, which was insane.
Oh, you paid the credit?
Only at I went to like the biggest tourist dispensary. They allowed credit, but I went to a mom and pop dispensary and I had to pay debit. But you can use virtual payments now.
So how does that affect the rest of the country?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. How does that work? So yeah, I mean, still for the most part, it's like marijuana, no, but like. My thing is like, okay, it's an industry. It's a big industry, obviously. It's everywhere. Like everyone knows someone who smokes weed, but it's just, I mean, we're selling alcohol like nothing.
I was just gonna
we're selling
say
alcohol
that.
like nothing,
Yeah.
and
Cigarettes.
Cigarettes. I mean, so it's just one of those things. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but it's frowned upon. Just like cryptocurrencies.
No, I totally agree, man. Totally agree. While we're talking about in this vein of money, man, this so several weeks back, maybe a month or two back, these people in this Surfside condo down in Miami, of course, they lost life. I can't even remember how many people were killed, but it was a ton of them. But of course, in that whole deal, the issue with when you have a claim like that or some kind of situation in insurance companies is how do you take the money or do you take the money that these insurance companies offer you? And some of these people are kind of at an impasse because they're like, well, do we take this money? Because if we cash this check, are we saying, hey, I'm cool with whatever you're giving me? And we just move forward from there because these insurance companies, they go to subrogation, which is basically the insurance company. They can actually take the money for future payments for any policyholders to pay back themselves for any claims. So if I'd say, hey, Aaron, I know you lost your dog in the collapse. Now we're gonna give you $20,000, for your dog. And you take that $20,000, you go cash it.
Oh, it's done.
We done.
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, you're done with it.
Yeah.
But if you could have gotten $100,000 later, whatever that payout is, that $80,000, that's going back to me as the insurance company. And a lot of these people, although they need money and they need places to go, they're kind of like, well, what do we do with this? Do we take these payments or how? So it's kind of I don't know. What do you do?
I mean, it depends on your situation a lot. Obviously, you want to hold out to get as much money as possible, but
It's a gamble, right?
Yeah, you might get more money. You might
Might not.
get more money. But I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of money to be had here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
There's
more
loss of life. Like
yeah,
a
and
lot
this
of
is
lives.
like recent. So I'm sure there's a lot. There's going to be something that's drawn out, and there's going to be a lot of. I mean, it's something that shouldn't have happened. It's that simple, and there's money to be had, but like also, you just lost your whole home. So are you trying to live somewhere else? Are you trying to use that money to? How quick do you need the money?
And you know this insurance company, whoever they are,
They're gonna drag their feet.
Yeah,
They are. That's the thing.
They're covering their tracks
That's the
as
thing.
much as they can.
I mean, just to give an example for just the audience, if you take 100,000 and that's what it is, and come to find out, once it's all done, the latest lawsuits, they say, hey, you know what? All the owners get another 100,000.
Yeah.
That would go to the insurance company, and you wouldn't get that. So you just kind of make a decision.
You settled with what you got.
You settle what you got, and it's like, how long do you have to hold out on doing it? Because these payouts don't come quickly. They don't come quickly at all. With an insurance company, man.
Yeah. But yeah, and then this is like, I don't know if it's like the first thing, but it's something like the first time something of this happened of this magnitude, where like a whole condo collapsed. That wasn't a terrorist attack or something like that. Right. So I think it's gonna be time, but it also depends on the situation, right? Like if you need that money, you need that money. And for a lot of people, I don't know the demographics of that area but I mean, this might be the most money some people have seen in their entire life in one sitting. So they might just be like, okay, well, so it's just one of those things where situation is very important.
That Sunrise area, that's a more affluent area of town.
Oh, okay.
Is it in Miami? Yeah. But again, still, it might have been family member living in there. You know, they own the condo and they just let whoever live in there.
Dude, imagine just going. Imagine your cousin be like, "Hey, I got a condo in Miami. Go down there, enjoy yourself."
Yeah.
You literally pull up, you drop your bags down, you start pouring some drinks, and then boom.
This happens.
Did
they ever get everyone out of there? Did they?
All the bodies?
Yeah.
From what I understand, they had to get everyone out because it was impeding the search for all the bodies. So everyone moved. They had to get everybody out the other side.
So, but for all the bodies that were in there, did they?
I think from the last I saw, I think they did.
Oh, okay.
Then I just checked the last known body count or death count was 97.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a whole condo building, man.
97 people. That's a lot.
It's not a single family home.
One can be
no.
That's scary for you living in a condo right now, rethinking your life. In any part of the U.S. You're like,
man, I mean, think about it. We're in this building. This is a multi-story building.
Yeah.
If it just collapsed all of a sudden, and 97 people didn't walk out of the door, it's like, shoot.
Yeah. So the next question is: are they going to have some type of regulation that it doesn't happen again? What's like the engineering checkup?
Well, that's the thing they got to find out. Like, who were the ones responsible? Whether it be the guys that designed it, or ones that were supposed to inspect it. Because as I understand, it was already up for discussion about some of the stuff needing to be done on this community because it needed repair.
Yeah, they had known since like 2013.
Yeah,
but I was talking to my friend.
Safe?
Yes,
I was talking to my friend about this because when this happened, the city back to the Margaritaville stuff. Remember what you said?
Oh yeah.
So when this happened, my friend was one of the people who laid concrete at Margaritaville up in I think it's Conroe.
Yeah,
and he said that the city called him back out to go look at everything again.
Oh, recently.
So that was just Houston.
Yeah.
So I don't know who else around the country. It definitely affected other states.
Yeah.
But funny enough,
have.
I told that story, and then like a month or two later, James sends me an article that some dude died.
Yeah.
From getting shocked. Over there.
How did he? So did he? I saw that on the news. Like he died from. I don't know. He got electrocuted. I don't know exactly what he was doing. But was he like in the water or like?
Yeah, I have no clue. But even because the reason he sent that to me is because my homie told me that place was so cheaply built that he would not step foot in there.
In Margaritaville?
Yeah, he said he would not go in there because it'll last like 5 years max.
That was like within a week. When he told me that, like the next week, I said, man, this dude got killed out there in Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Dang. So cheaply built?
Yeah. He said the way they got them to lay the concrete, because, I mean, you're only going to do what you're paid to do, right?
Yeah.
So the way they told him to lay the concrete and the materials they use were just not how it should have been done
Oh wow,
for the benefit of the public safety.
that's scary.
Yeah,
And I was and like I told you I was in Belize, and everything's concrete. So I'm over here looking around, like making sure I don't know the
No
building
cracks.
codes in Belize. So I'm like, I'm not trying to have nothing collapse on me. Because I mean, you have
Right.
like in those, I guess, coastal island areas, everything's built out of concrete, cinder blocks, to withstand hurricanes. But I'm like looking around in Belize, I'm like, I'm sure the building codes are much more rigorous here than they are in Belize. But it's one of those things where, like, your friend, is that a moral issue or like he can't he can't do anything?
He's just trying to make bread.
yeah. So
Exactly.
it's like it's an exchange.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but we'll see if people got some decisions to make with it. So, kind of staying in that vein, man, with places to stay and dealing with. So we thought the eviction moratorium was going to be about 30, and they have extended, as far as I understand, I think through October. I think it was the date I saw.
October
Yeah,
3rd,
October 3rd.
2021.
So, I don't know, man. There was a lot of people applauding this, and I get it. If you're a renter and you're behind on your stuff, I get that. You're happy that you got some more time. But man, what does this do for the
Property
guys that own these properties?
Yeah.
The landlords that own these properties, because they still, if they want to keep their credit great, if there's a mortgage, they still got to pay.
Yeah. So what is that follows up with the forbearance? What is the forbearance? Was that extended as well?
So forbearance, I mean, it's up to your ultimately it's up to your mortgage company.
Yeah.
And forbearance, of course, is just the delay of the payment. They're still due.
Yeah.
So if you skip 3 months, after that 3 months, they want those 3 months.
Yeah. Or they
What's
tack them
interest or
on.
no?
Yeah. All of it.
The interest is accruing.
Yeah, it's still accruing.
But they have, like, I know a lot of companies are tacking them on to the end of
Right.
And it's, I mean, you're still paying more because you're paying the interest
Right, you're paying
for
on
the
the
year you
whole-
didn't pay or
yeah.
whatever. But like forbearance versus the evictions, like, so say a lot of these homeowners have mortgages on the property, like they need to line up because not the homeowners, the property owners.
Oh, right.
Yeah, have mortgages on these properties, like you kind of have to line up because if you're not getting your rent, you're not paying that mortgage. So,
This is true.
but yeah, back to what you were saying. When does it end?
When does it end? And it covers. I mean, you literally just can't go to eviction on anyone. And you're there. Here's my thing with it. You're still passing all these things to pump money to send checks to people, but if nobody's paying their rent, man, it's like
Throws
it's not
everything
really
off.
helping,
It's not
and
working.
it's perpetuating the problem.
And we talked about that last week with job searches.
Yes.
And I mean, these people that aren't paying the rent are probably same people that are at the mall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Falling out.
Balling out.
Yeah. So it's the question is, how is it gonna, when it does stop, will these people pay their rent again?
Right.
They're going to
Because
get
they have to,
evicted.
but they don't have to right now
Yeah.
because they know that they're covered.
Right.
But
People are speculating that when all this support, I guess, for the renting industry, I guess is what we'll call it, ends, that renting will just go parabolic. Because
Skyrocket.
right now you can't really adjust rent prices because it's
Yeah.
being controlled by the government
Right.
pretty much. So when they're out of it, it's just going to go crazy. And
to
honestly,
make up for it.
yeah, and what I was going to say is I think now might be the best time to buy a rental property when there's just blood on the street. No one wants to buy rental houses. And actually, I've been getting a lot of applications that I've been running, and people have been because it'll ask you, why are you moving?
Right.
And they'll say moving because landlord is selling the house. So I'm not going to say that everybody is selling their houses, but I'm seeing more of that. So now might be a good time while everybody's freaking out about renters not wanting to do
Right.
it, to scoop in there and get you a nice little rental
Yeah.
property.
Yeah, it's crazy because I mean, you have a good point, but there's also a couple ways things could go.
Very so.
But yeah.
Risk reward.
Risk reward. Yeah, so I mean, you want to make sure the mortgage is covered if you're going to buy with the mortgage.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you can get your money back if you're buying without a mortgage. But yeah, so if the rent skyrockets, then these people that couldn't pay the rent now, they're gonna have even more of a problem.
Right.
Because I mean, they're gonna if the rent goes up, then the money they're getting is gonna have to stretch further. Is what I'm trying to say. So.
And I don't know if we mentioned this last week, James, but we actually talked about it briefly that right now in the current economy, buying cash, you're actually losing money.
Yeah,
you're getting a
losing
loan.
money.
Yeah,
because what is it? The inflation.
The inflation, the interest rate is so low that you might as well, like, to get a $200,000 loan will cost you $5,000 to $7,000 depending on your interest rate.
Yeah.
So you might as well just get a loan and you're gonna pay.
That's what we're talking about, bigger pockets.
And
I listen to Bigger Pockets,
right?
And they're talking about how if your money's sitting in the bank right now, you're basically losing money.
You're losing money.
You're losing money. So borrow and use that money. It just doesn't make any sense.
We try to tell people all the time. I mean, these folks that come in, they want to put $150,000 down. It's like, why are you putting that much?
Yeah.
I want to get my payment down.
You want to
get your payment down another $50?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I had a friend that he had met him in grad school, right? He's this guy. He had this property in Austin, like good small property, like a duplex in Austin. He told me this is like 2012. He's like, man, I got this duplex in Austin. My wife wants me to get rid of it. But I want to get rid of it. No. Basically, he cashed out. He sold the property. He bought it for like 180. He sold it for like 950, like beginning of this year. And so yeah, he's buying a house and he's looking at a house in Katy. Like, yeah, I'm about to put $300K down just to get. No, not do that. Like,
it doesn't make sense, man.
I was like, you can. I was trying to explain to him, but you can only talk to me. I was like, you can put down the minimum down payment, buy an investment property, and have a cash flow more than what you. I'm saying, 600. Your payment goes from 5,000 to 4,400 with all that money you're putting down, or you could have a payment at 5,000 and get a house that cash flows for 700. Yeah. But we're talking about everyone's mindset's different though. So
well, it's like also traditionally when I had like a lot of credit card debt. Well, it's like $2,000, not that much, but I had $2,000 in credit card debt. And there's a guy that I follow. He's like he's just a stock trader. This is like the first guy I got into stocks with. And I sent him like a message because you can ask him for advice sometimes. And I said, hey, I have $2,000 in debt, but I really like to invest my money. So what I was doing was I was making the minimum payment on my debt and investing on the flip side. And it actually worked out for me.
Yeah.
And this was back in February 2020. So right before everything went to like really bad. And so I actually made money on the way up. Back then, the narrative was pay off your credit card debt because your debt needs to go to zero as quickly as possible so you can build like a rainy day fund, yada, yada. Now it's the other way around. You pay as little debt as possible, depending on interest rate. You pay off the debt as slowly as possible because most money is free, and you can actually outgrow your investments.
That's what it's
equity.
Exactly. It's an investor. That's what I was saying. You can make that money depending on like what you're doing. Like, okay, you have $3,000 in credit card debt, payments $200 a month. But if you're gonna make $20,000, like, are you gonna pay off or use this money to? So it's like a cash. It depends on the type of investor you are. If you're a cash flow investor, then it makes sense. I mean, it just depends on the person you are. But it's all train of thought. Like, what do you learn?
What's your approach?
And I can't, like I said, I can't ask my mom this because she's just gonna say save. So so it's just like, if she gets that $20,000, she's putting it into her savings account. So off topic, but good stuff.
It happens. It definitely happens. So staying in that same area, man, with these evictions, right? So looks like our friends from CNN kind of got some egg on their face. This eviction moratorium, of course, has been going on, and this young lady had put out a GoFundMe on her, on the website, whatever. I guess like a week or two ago. Come to find out, CNN reaches out to her and basically interviews her, brings her on, and basically just wants to tell her story. And she gets on to tell her story. I don't know if there was a link to that original interview in there, Jack, that I sent you.
The CNN.
Yeah, just the original.
Last week we brought you this.
Oh, you.
Is the original one there? Let me see. I think this is the
like the news coverage.
My bad kind of video. But
update. I see what you're saying.
That's the update one. I think I sent a link on the first one.
Oh, in the Fox article?
I saw it. Let me see. It might have been in.
Oh, yeah. It's in right there. fun.
So, Kelly, the Congresswoman saw you last night on the show in the piece about
These are her
you
children
and your girls,
on the.
She said about
couch.
you and your children. I quote you, Congresswoman. We're working hard for you.
This is Cori Bush.
And I know what it's like to be.
He's a congresswoman.
Their mommy. Kelly,
We've been pushing for this eviction moratorium.
Bush tonight.
Yes, absolutely. It's
at
an
them
honor
kids.
to even speak with you. I'm just so fortunate right now. This is beyond me.
I just hate how it's like you can tell the kids are there for.
Look at her. They're looking at her. She's sniffing and.
Especially CNN, and then saying
And she just ate something spicy.
Person, my story reached you. This is just amazing. I'm so thankful for that. There's people like you out there. I'm so thankful for it. Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
Mother of
Kelly,
three
you
facing
all the time.
eviction.
No, you and your family deserve representatives that care about you. Our country deserves to have representatives that represent. And so this is the least that we can do for you, is to step up and make sure that you get to stay in the safety and the comfort of your home while we work on other things to help make sure that your life and the lives of your children are better.
So Cori Bush has been yelling from the mountaintops about trying to get this thing, extended for people, and this woman, she showed the eviction notification or whatever. She was behind $1,900 in her rent. She came across, there was a longer interview, and if we can find it, I'll put it in the comments down. But she says that she was a dealer in Las Vegas, and she lost her job, and she was walking through the apartment, and it was showing that, the kids, there was no beds. All they have in the house, in the apartment, is this sofa. There's no beds. There was a kid's, shoes on the ground, and boy, she's had to get rid of and pawn everything. She's telling this whole story about how she's had to give up this and give up that, so on and so forth. And then you sit here on the couch and you're talking to the congresswoman about it and talking about how great it is and this and so on and so forth. And
Go back to the other article.
go back to the other one there, Jack. Coming to find out with this woman.
Where?
That first video, the update. There you go. Yeah, that one. There you go. So let's hear this one. Let's hear what they have to say about this one.
Last week, we brought you the story of Daisha Kelly, a Las Vegas woman facing eviction. She told us she was the mother of 3 girls who were also featured in the story, and her story generated a lot of interest and donations to her GoFundMe account. Well, Kelly has since clarified to CNN she is not the mother of the 3 girls.
Clarified.
CNN has, however, verified she takes care of the girls in her home for significant periods of time.
Hold on, right there.
This is a complicated
Right
story.
So
What
if
is
you bring your kids,
significant? What is significant? Because significant to me might be significant. Not
exactly.
significant.
If you bring your kids to my house and they stay for a few hours, am I taking significant care of them over amount of time?
It's up for debate what significant is.
It is up for debate.
So, but just like you might not think something is necessary, or what I'm trying to say necessary, or I might think it's necessary. It's what
Right.
it depends. Like significant,
It's subjective.
It's all
subjective
exactly.
is the word I'm looking for.
Right.
Yeah, subjective to what, like you get cut in your arm, it might not hurt me that much, but some people just act
Exactly.
like that. So
Carry on, Jack. Carry on.
That might send you to the ER for some.
Has many unanswered questions. I want to bring in now my colleague Nick Watt, who's been covering Kelly from the beginning for CNN. So, Nick, as I said, still a lot of questions. But what do we know right now about Daisha Kelly's story?
Well, Erica, CNN found Daisha Kelly through her post on GoFundMe seeking $2,000 to pay back rent to avoid eviction for her and, quote, her 3
more than
daughters.
$2,000.
She did
Right.
not reach out to us. Now, we interviewed Kelly at her home. The girls all called her mom,
This is
appeared
it.
to be very much
Straight
at
damage
home,
control
and there
from
was nothing
CNN
we
right
could
here.
see to
Exactly.
raise any suspicion. But later last week, a woman named Shadia Hilo came forward and said she was the mother of those 3
Pause right
girls,
there,
and
pause
they
right
live
there.
with her. Obviously,
So, Shadia, who's the mother of these children, who looks more like these children. I know we come in all different shades, but these kids are fair.
that's what I was. I'm
they're
not,
fair skinned.
They're very fair skinned.
Yeah, and mom is fair skinned as well. Matter of fact, I think mom she's looking a little more border towards being white or Latinas or something. Anyway, nevertheless, this woman, Dasha Kelly, is dating the father of these children. So she's the girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So you knew that was gonna get blown.
She's the girlfriend. So somebody calls Shadia and says, "Hey, your kids are on CNN. You know, blah blah blah. What's the deal?"
Oh no.
And
You
they're like,
really think
"What?
that wasn't gonna happen?
Man, come. I mean, like, if you're gonna do it, everybody needs to be in on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a team effort.
She could have at least been like, "Look, we about to get this payday. Like,
Yes.
I'm gonna cut you.
I'm gonna put the kids in. I'm gonna break you off.
We might not see eye to eye on a lot of things, but we see eye to eye on this payday.
Would you 10, 20 grand? Would you be good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what somebody calls and tells her that's what because the story's not as great if you know that she has a dude in the house.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. There are people out there that really need help. That really need help, that are dealing with this, man, and they are, as a matter of fact, Shadia, the mom, she has 3 other kids, and she's pregnant, and she's working 40, 50 hours a week from her own testimony. He's like, I'm doing this stuff, I really need help, but I'm out here working.
Yeah.
You got this chick sitting there talking about
My kids.
Yeah, my kids.
My kids. So I'm the one.
Think about.
So she has 6 total kids.
6, and she's pregnant.
That's a lot of kids.
A lot of kids.
6
bro.
But at least even I can't knock her. She's working. So
She is working.
And it's just, I think it's so unfortunate because, like, think about, like you said, all the people who are working, but also all the people who are going to use this as fuel to shoot down other things like this that
it's
benefit
unfortunate. Yeah,
other
'cause
people.
It's gonna affect the people that really deserve it.
Yeah.
Exactly. The ones that want to get. Now, this GoFundMe collected,
Oh, I bet we.
bro, almost $240,000. Dasha Kelly, DASHA Kelly, yeah, GoFundMe. So now there's 191,000. They've given refunds.
Yeah.
They've given refunds.
91,000 of $2,000 gold.
Right. So there was refunds given because it was almost 240 grand.
Yeah, because it said
in
233
here.
on one of the.
Yeah. So this money, bro, was collected by people that were giving out the kindness of their hearts for whatever the reason is. All the stuff. Look, this person, Meredith Kellner, 15 grand.
Meredith, you're an angel.
Meredith, you got hustled.
Yo, Meredith, what's up?
Right? Hey, big head. It's like, come on. What is the deal? Bro.
Shit, Meredith.
Oh, I wonder if they put an
Meredith,
update.
7 times what she needed.
Man, definitely.
August 3rd is when that came out. I wonder if there's an update on August 9th. Yeah, she did post.
This is where we need to freeze that
Here we
account.
go.
So it has been frozen.
Oh, it's been frozen.
It's been frozen because GoFundMe, they don't really play the whole fraud thing.
Yeah.
So they're giving everyone an opportunity to refund. And whatever's left there, they're actually going to give it to this woman.
Right
Like,
here.
they created a.
If you would prefer to receive a refund for your donation, please fill out the below form by August 23rd. Now, I'm curious what the form is, though, and how hard is it to
fill it out? Is it there?
This is it. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, when they get it, who is looking at
Who's
it?
vetting it, right? Who's going?
Are you actually getting your money back, or is this just like they're just fronting like they care?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 40, almost 50 grand worth, people would say, hey, give me my cheese back. You hustle me. But that's unfortunate, man, because you got this woman, looks able-bodied. She's not sick. And she's out here
on my donations.
Taking the fun. You got these kids talking about they calling you mom, and man, that's not cool, bro. And now I want to know what this woman has. I mean, Corey, I haven't seen, I don't follow her on Twitter or anything, but how do you feel as a congresswoman that you got duped? I mean, you're on here interviewing it now. She's been pushing for it anyways, but she basically got duped.
Yeah, she got duped. I guess that's where she needs to fact check.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Her or her people, they definitely need to fact check because that part was not cool to have this happen and it kind of being egg on your face. I don't see anything in there, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing in there.
it's not like she's the only one that got hustled, but still, you're in a position where
Right.
you possibly
You should have a team of people just kind of checking it out. And CNN, man, they are wrong for not vetting this better than they did. Because this, literally, bro, this took a matter of a day or two.
Some birth certificates.
Something, bro. The boyfriend of this one, not even his. If she was even married to him, possibly. But again, that's not a good story. I stretch to say, if they would have flipped it, and he was doing the interview, he probably would have got more money. A single man taking care of 3 girls, bro. He probably got more cheese, man.
Yep. That's very true.
Crazy.
Yeah, I can't find anything.
Nothing at all.
There's a Washington Post, but it's a paywall.
If you don't bring it up again, then it's gone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just ignore it. The further out it gets, you don't hear about it. And of course, she suffers no consequence. The lady, because again, CNN reached out to her so bad they want to get a story going.
And at least CNN said that, hey, we reached out to her. Right. They didn't have to put that in the
They didn't.
Yeah,
they did.
I mean, respect CNN for that portion of it. But yeah,
you got to fall on the sword on that one. But you got egg on your face, man, for sure.
You need to give us
that's unfortunate.
Give us Zuckerberg. You got people.
Exactly. So moving on to other things, man. So, a lot
changed since last week with this guy.
It has, bro. So this dude. So we had the document. I think we talked about it a little bit. It's 168 pages.
Yeah, we talked about
for Andrew Cuomo, this investigation. And since then, he has decided he's going to resign. He's going to resign. And now I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I'm not perverted. I'm Italian. What does that mean?
So now you're throwing your culture under the bus.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Is he trying to say that Italian people do the kissing thing?
Yeah, I mean, what's the deal? I mean, come on.
I'm just Italian.
I've never been kissed by an Italian, just in case you're wondering.
Man, that's crazy. But yeah, this guy is actually he's resigning, and so that'll make his lieutenant governor Katie Hawkins. She was the first woman to be governor in New York. So I mean, it's a milestone for her, of course, until next year when they decide if they're going to keep her. But yeah, he's out of there. He's resigning, and then the video that he kind of put out. Oh, they're making T-shirts. No way. People seize an opportunity. Bro.
The internet always wins.
They seize an opportunity.
Man, they got different colors too.
They got all kinds. That's crazy. The interview that he put up, man, it just kind of sounded like excuses.
Yeah,
he was kind of all over the place with it. It's like, man, you know what? You got a little handsy. That's not acceptable. But just own it. Yeah. If you're going to step down and move on about your life.
I mean, do you think there's any other options? Like, I mean,
no, because impeachment would have come.
Yeah, because
I think this saves the impeachment.
Yeah, it saves the impeachment. I'm like, that he pretty much had no options. He was really stuck on that he wasn't going to step down. But I mean, in the long run, this is the best move for him.
But then again, we go back to, are you guilty until you're proven innocent? I mean, 168 pages is a lot of damning evidence.
Yeah,
but
it's like with him, his whole story when it first came out was, I didn't do it. Let's wait till the documents come out. The documents came out, and he said, I still didn't do it. I'm fine. So
there's 168 pages of documents, not 2, 14.
So he was just kind of like, well, it's a waste of government, funds and blah, blah. I'm just going to go ahead and step down. And now you're worried about all of that, bro. It's like, come on. It's unfortunate that it happens anyway. I haven't heard what his brother has to say. I don't
think he talks about it. Well, he says I just let the news cover it because it's his brother. Last time he talked about it, that's what he.
Well, they had their cute little brother interview, some months back. So I'm pretty sure. Folks are asking, probably hitting up Chris's inbox. Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up with your perv brother?
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely.
You know how people do.
Definitely.
100%. No avatar. They just got all this bravado. Yeah, man. That's
the wildest things to say to him.
Always.
That's
crazy. But yeah, he's out of there, though, New York. So we'll see what happens with this next move for him. And you had a couple of links in there, too. Did Trevor Noah hit this?
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, I found this when I was.
I love to hear it.
Yeah. You're gonna Andrew Cuomo. You're gonna love this. And because when I was reading about it, everybody was like, "Man, do you remember what Trevor Noah said about this?" And so you just check this out. This is good. Please.
Come on, the circle of death. It's only 30 seconds. Come on, let us live.
Crushing it the most right now is Andrew Cuomo. Yes, Thanks to his handling, his approval rating has soared to a 7-year high.
He's handled it so well.
And he's even becoming something of a crush for many people. Yeah, people online are falling in love with him.
Yeah,
I'm not
everybody's
gonna
in
lie,
love with
those
this guy right
people
now.
include me.
Wow.
My Tinder profile now lists me as a Cuomo sexual.
The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, new tonight at 11 on Comedy Central.
Oh, man.
The one governor who's crushing it the most right now is Andrew
Okay,
Cuomo.
sir.
Very sad day for Trevor Noah.
Very sad day for Trevor Noah, man. The internet will not let you live. They will hold on.
The internet always wins.
They will win, bro,
Yeah.
every single time.
And for some people, it wins. And some people wish that 20 years ago,
They didn't do that.
but now it's 2021. Come on,
Man, it's like, man, come on. I didn't know what I know now. It's like, leave me alone. Let me.
What's the first, off subject, what's the first computer you had?
The first computer?
Yeah.
Was it was a Commodore computer. I can't remember the model. Commodore 64, I think is what it was.
I remember, so I was asking that because I remember the first computer we ever got as a family was Gateway. Remember Gateway?
Oh,
That was my first.
Yeah,
computer,
and it had the box that looked like a cow.
With the cow,
Yeah. I just I don't remember when that was. I was really young. I was like elementary. But I just remember, I don't even know what I popped in my head, but I just remember the box coming in, and I was in like tag classes. Not to brag or anything, but we used the computers on, like, we went once a week and we used the computers.
Mm-hmm.
So no one had to use computers. So my dad got my dad's one of those guys where he's just like, oh, I'm gonna show you something, son. So like he got a computer. I helped him set it up, and like he was getting mad at me because I was touching things fast. What are you doing? Yeah, just stop it, Aaron. So it's just like one of those things where like it's crazy how it's come. And that had to be like 1990. It was before 2000. Got that computer.
For the Gateway?
Yeah, and internet was not winning back then. So
Well, there was no internet.
exactly.
Essentially, yeah.
Exactly. So
People were actually saying the internet wouldn't be a thing.
Oh yeah,
They
for
were
sure.
talking down to it.
just like,
Yeah.
I mean, kind of similar to what's going on with crypto.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
They said you'll just use it for illegal things. Internet, nothing good comes out of it.
and you had to hook the phone line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man.
Yes. Yes.
AOL. Man, whatever happened to AOL?
Oh man, AOL
Got
died.
bought out.
It died. It's out of there, man. Didn't work at all. So this next one, man, it's I mean, we might be on this one for a little bit. Just I don't know. We run into so much stuff that divides us. But I read this article and it was a bit upsetting, mainly because this is what people go through when you're talking about in different cultures, different races, and if you're not in that group, you don't really get it. You don't understand it. It's that it doesn't fit you. It doesn't fit your life. And kind of to the point you made earlier, Jack, if you hadn't been exposed to certain things when you were doing the AAU basketball and that kind of stuff, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. So this particular situation includes a woman. Both women have been charged with embezzlement, right? And of course, the headline was incendiary. So I was just like, wait a minute, they just want me to read this article. So I read it. And when I read the details, I was like, wait a minute, this just seems off. So these ladies, the lady on the left, embezzled money from her office. And the way they said it, she was charged with 22 counts of theft in her office that spanned over 20 years. Like $238,000 that she had embezzled. And the prosecutor, basically, she was in there. The prosecutor, when she got charged with the tampering and the money laundering and all that kind of stuff, they allowed her to write a check for almost half of what she owed. So it was like $100,000. She wrote a check for, and to pay back some of the debt.
It says she repaid her part of
right?
Yeah, of the debt.
Right. So they she went to court. She pled no contest to 22 counts of this. Pay back some of that money. So it's like, okay, cool. She actually tried to make restitution, so to speak, and she got probation.
She was wrong.
She was wrong.
Yeah.
She was wrong. She got, was it 2 years probation, I think they gave her? If I read correctly. They asked to sentence her to prison in this county court. She wrote a check to repay her part of that. Okay, she was uncovered. So, yeah, she got sentenced to 2 years in probation. The lady on the right, Miss, what if she actually was also guilty of this embezzlement? And the thing with it, these happened on 2 different days. The day before was the white lady with $238,000. The next day, the very next day, same courtroom, district attorney. This lady recommended
same courtroom.
Oh yeah. Oh, wow. Same county, same courtroom.
Different case, though, right?
Different cases.
Okay,
different
right.
cases. Wow. And I think it was different judges, if I remember correctly. But there were same county prosecutors and everything. They recommended that this school secretary, 51 years old, she had stole $40,000 from one of the high schools. She was in the same exact court. The judge was a white guy, but she pled guilty. Okay, she pled guilty to the deal, and she was charged with 1 count of theft in the office. But she had already found a new job. She had completed like an inpatient program because apparently she was addicted to gambling. And they said that she had kind of rebuilt her life, so to speak. She stopped the gambling, got counseling about all of that, and she promised to repay the money that she would end up doing. So because she was kind of at the wit's end, not making excuses for her.
Yeah,
and put out her pension and all that stuff. But anywho, once she ran out of money, boom. She did come up with like $5,000 to pay towards her debt. All right, the $40,000. The assistant county prosecutor, they wanted prison for her. They told the state that they'd be fine with a sentence between 9 and 12 months. They sentenced her to 18 months in prison, 6 months more than what was even being asked for in that.
Pretty much a lesser case, right?
Lesser case, small, yeah. 1 count versus 22 counts over 20 years and $238,000.
Versus 40, right?
Yes. So when you say, oh, the justice system needs to be, this is what they're talking about. We're redone, restructured, because we're talking not 2 different cities. We're the same court. 2 different days.
Same wall.
same crime. Same people involved, just 2 different judges. These folks gave this first lady 2 years probation. Second lady, 18 months in prison.
Now, I wonder what the difference is ladies here.
Do y'all see a difference? I mean, they both got hair, they both got glasses.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's a discussion, but is it really a discussion?
Bro, it's not an argument. I mean, you can discuss it, but it's not really an argument.
So we're sitting at a table with 2 African-American men. So, I mean, if you're watching this and you're not from there, you might think we're biased. But Jack, what's your background?
I'm definitely not black, but I could definitely see a discrepancy between these 2 individuals in front of me.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just similar to the things where got young African-American males getting shot out of the car,
right?
And while you have
a joint, right?
Yeah, while you have a Caucasian that gets traffic stop, gets out of the car, acts crazy, and
he goes to
pretty much walks off scot-free.
Yeah, absolutely. Gets restrained and then makes sure they're okay, then he leaves. So it's one of those things. Something needs to change.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is blatant, bro. This is like, come on.
Blatant,
this is. I thought when I started reading it, I thought it was going to be in 2 different places. It's like, well, different jurisdictions, different states have different laws. Bro, we're talking about the same court.
Oh, I see the difference, though. She has gray hair.
That's what it is.
So yeah, when you're a criminal, you definitely have gray hair.
Gray hairs. Yeah, you're exactly right.
That'll get you locked up real quick.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man.
It's just what it is. It's what it is. It's not is what it is, but it is what it is at this point.
Right.
Like, we've talked about this before. We talked about things that need to be done, could be done, but what is the ultimate? I mean, what is the ultimate goal here? What are we going to do to get this fixed? And
what can you do?
What can you do?
You can vote. You go and you vote. You got to get the right people in for the district attorney spots. All of these positions come with votes, man. These people, you got to get the right folks. And of course, you won't know exactly, what'll happen. But of course, these judge positions, they get voted in as well. You got to.
So we're talking about, we were talking about government and old people and nothing against that, but so our government has a lot of older people, right?
Yeah.
So question to compare, which is all these new companies are blowing up. What kind of companies are they?
Tech companies.
And they are who's leading these tech companies?
People smarter than we will ever be.
Yeah. and usually the people of these tech companies, these so-called tech companies, are in what age range?
Right.
Yeah. So it's like the world, it might not compare to government, but you see where business is going.
Right.
These younger people are, and eventually these young people will be old, but young people running these companies, thinking of things, changing the world, are run like these companies. But the government still old school. Got your judge in there that's probably 106. But it's just one of those things where something has to change. And as James says, you got to go votes.
Got to go, man.
And all the young kids out there that are listening,
The local votes are more important than the presidential ones.
Maybe go be a poli-sci major, I don't know I don't have any friends, but it might be something to think about if this bothers you and you're young and could be something that could help us in the future,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
don't stand back and be silent about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get out and be involved, get in your community, and go to these things that will help to get people in place that can make a decision. Man, that's fair.
Yeah.
That can be fair, bro. I tell people all the time, Martin Luther King and those guys, they weren't asking for a handout.
Yeah.
They just wanted an equal playing field, bro.
Yeah.
Just make it where we get the same thing. Yeah. Just put it out there. I'm not trying to make it easier for me, but my goodness, if we do the same thing, come on.
Yeah. But maybe this happens because, so controversial question, but
let's hear it.
Let's go.
The more the
not really, it's not that controversial, but so we're talking about athletics, right? So do you think a certain demographic people were born to be more athletic than other demographic of people?
Born to be? I don't know. That's.
I don't think they're born more athletic, but I think from the upbringing that they have, they lean to more.
I think there's some genetics involved too, but it's just maybe you have basketball teams, your track teams. Not saying that everyone's black, so it's maybe we're being paid back through political views because we're more athletic. We have that chance to make it to the NBA. We have that chance to.
Yeah.
And they feel a certain time. They feel a certain time, but no, I'm just kidding. But it's I don't know. Are people? You're a product of your environment. I was a fat kid growing up. I'm getting back to that fat stage right now in my life.
I'm still a fat kid.
But it's it's you're a product of your environment. So, like you said, we need to start raising. I raised my oldest son who's old enough to understand things now. I'm telling him that everyone's different, everyone's this and that and that. Some people aren't gonna like you because you look the way you look, because your hair is curly, your hair is this or that. I was like, but you have to try to treat everyone the same, and that's what a lot of even young, I guess millennials, adult parents. I've seen people that in the neighborhood which I used to live in, and Jack works in. Some people would say blatantly racist things. So it's Is it like you have to be the ones to raise our kids to see the content of the character, right? But it's just I don't know.
I don't know that it ever will, because there's always going to be differences, but the deal with it is we have to embrace being able to expose ourselves to others. Yeah. It's if you just stay within this confined, community where it's just you're never gonna get an opportunity to see what the other guy looks like. Yeah. When people say, "Oh, I'm colorblind," I'm like, no, you don't need to be colorblind. No. You need to know how it is for this other person, so that you don't judge that guy on everybody else that looks like them. Yeah. Right? You need to be able to see someone's color. I think that's important. We all should be proud of that. it's when you start to try to elevate yourself above others because of your color. That's where the true racism comes in. But we should all be open, man, to just be able to talk, to have a conversation, to respect each other, even if it's a difference of opinion.
That's a big thing, difference of opinion. A lot of people, when you have a difference of opinion, it's like, I don't like that person.
Yeah,
like,
that ain't it.
I mean, everyone's different. You can think whatever. I have no, if you think you have some crazy thoughts, I don't care. We can still be friends.
Right.
But like, unless you're threatening me, like,
it all comes down to how you portray that information, how you deal with it. You know, like
my thoughts aren't a personal attack on you. It's just like
exactly.
Yeah. So it's
exactly.
Like, some things can be seen that way, but you can. Some of your thoughts can be like kind of, I don't know, to a certain group of people that you probably shouldn't say that. Or,
right.
But it's just
certain time and place.
It's time and place. But the biggest thing is being open and not making it about you. Like, you don't want to make things about you. People have their own thoughts. They're raised different. They're listening and embracing, like James said.
Yeah, we just gotta be careful. We gotta. I always tell my kids, you gotta love people, whether they look like you or they don't look like you, whatever their stance are. Just love people. Love them enough to show that they're a human.
Yeah.
No, regardless, black, white, gay, straight. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's they're people. Period.
Yeah.
And I won't stand aside and allow somebody to get treated just because of their particular thought process or what they choose their lifestyle to be, even if I don't agree with it. It's just like, hey man, let's just you need to chill.
Yeah. So it's funny that we talk about gay, straight, black, white. I was just talking with someone that is a part of the company, to be unnamed, but we're talking downstairs, and I was asking him where he's from, yada yada, and he's saying that he doesn't like Houston, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I was like, oh, it's like Houston. He's like, I'm more of a country boy. Like I came up from a town that was like 5 people, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of country in Texas, a lot of country in Texas. And then so he said, and I quote, he said, I don't want to move to the country in Texas. There's a lot of people out there that will shoot my faggot butt.
Yeah.
So I was like, he was like I call myself that word, but he was like, it is what it is. Like I'm scared to move to the country. I would like to move to the country, Texas, but the demographic, the political views of he's
Agreed.
like, it's crazy that he would say that.
Here's my challenge to that, right? I mean, you call himself that. Who has to know?
Yeah.
But also, I think, because if you say who has to know, it's like, then you're kind of concealing your identity.
Well, you are right, but I've never had a discussion to you to say, hey, I'm a heterosexual man.
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
I've never brought that up to you because it does not matter. In the conversation that we have, man, we don't got to talk about none of that. Let's talk about whatever. I think it's just brought up, and it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Because I assure you, I met people in my life that I thought were, and they were not. It's like they just kind of happen to come across that way. They're a little more, feminine. It's like, oh, my bad, man.
But you're understanding though. Some people like they.
Right.
That's the thing. That's the troubling part.
Yeah.
Like, you're understanding. You see other people's point of view, but like, hey, I think you're, he's this. I think he's that. I'm not gonna ask him, but just because I don't like him, like,
just because he gives off that energy.
I
don't.
Yeah.
But it's
so
like,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, so will there also be judgment lying on this person that you were talking to because he's painting all the country people with the same brush too?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point.
That is a really interesting point, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't disagree with it. I was like, I've been in Texas a long time, so I see his point of view. Might not be entirely right, but I do see point of view.
And it's unfortunate because although I don't agree with the lifestyle either, I wouldn't stand aside and let somebody mistreat him just because of that. It's like, man, I'm not on board with that, bro. That's not cool. Because he's a human first.
Yeah.
So I'm not with that.
Yeah.
I won't get behind that.
Like going back to just like people like that who just don't accept different cultures. Me and my friends talk about this all the time. How like, because we were talking about hip hop culture earlier and how they're infamously known for being homophobic, and it's like, as an oppressed individual, like hip hop is predominantly black people, right? The culture is founded on black culture. So as a black oppressed culture, for you to go out there and oppress someone else, I feel like we should all be on the same team.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And y'all should be scratching each other's backs, even though you might not agree per se with like their views. It's like you're saying, there's still a person at the end of the day. We're all trying to be happy and live the same life.
But that's the thing when you said some people don't know how to take what they've had happen to them and transform that into something useful.
Right.
Like they might, they did this to me, so like, I don't want, it's kind of,
I low key, I mean, I'll step out there in it, but I feel like the ones that be going so hard about it, it's like, bro, you might have a little bit. Why are you going so hard against this man? You know? Are you feeling that kind of? Are you needing that?
You got something to tell us, dude?
You got some closets, you need to come out of or something?
So a funny story, I had a roommate in college, unnamed, that we thought, it was 3 of us, and the other guy, one of the guys is my best friend, the other one we're cool with, but we maybe had some sugar in his tank. We didn't. It didn't bother us, but it didn't bother us. Like he was cool. We were roommates. Like we hung out. He played basketball with us and everything. And but to your point, when you would talk about like I asked him one time about Neo, the singer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if I said something about Neo. I like Neo's music. I'm over here so sick of. But so I said, oh yeah, Neo. I don't like Neo. I'm like, oh, why not? It's like, because he's gay. I'm like, I didn't even know. First of all, I don't think he's gay.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Yeah, so
who cares?
I didn't even know. Like that ass, I didn't even know.
I didn't know that. I don't think he is. But even if he is, like, what's that have to do with his music? Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, he was very offensive about that. So, and like, whenever you would talk about certain sexual orientation, gay, straight, like, he would be like, well, if you talked about gay people, he'd be like, that's gay. Hey, nah, it's gay. Like, so I'm like,
he was going in a little too hard. No pun intended.
Well, we already thought of we thought a certain way of him, and it didn't bother. I don't care. Like, you could be whatever you want. We could still, we're friends. We could be homies, or we're our homies. But like, it just thought that of him, but then when it made it more evident when he got put harder on the gay subject. I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah.
You might be.
It might still be under there, right?
You might be solidifying your point, and I mean, it's just like, bro, like, it's okay, like,
relax.
I mean, it's
exactly. We talk about the music, bro. Do you like the music?
Yeah.
I'm not asking if he's your type.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Okay, question. All right. So let's talk my wife about this. This is off subject too. Okay, so R. Kelly, right?
Okay.
R. Kelly. So do you think he's innocent?
Innocent of what?
The monster that he's been.
The sexual misconduct allegation.
The girls were there.
Yeah.
So I can't say that the guy's innocent.
I got a crazy story for you. Like, say what you're gonna say.
So my wife and I have a discussion, like, when R. Kelly comes on, it's time for his music. I'm like, girl, that's Ignition. Girl, I'm like,
that's Ignition.
I'm like,
man,
I'm like, girl, that's so like I'm like, okay, so when do you separate his actions from his talent?
Music,
yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm not sure if it really. There's a lot of evidence against him, but regardless, even if he did it, I'm like, man, it's talented. He's putting out classics, man. I'm not gonna remove this from my playlist.
It's funny that you say that because my wife and I have an ongoing thing. Whenever his song comes on, bro, we're like, why did he have to do that? This is the jam.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I could see it like. It's more evident than it was before all this happened. Like, it's R. Kelly. R. Kelly's that dude. But every time an R. Kelly song comes on, now you're looking around like, am I supposed to dance to this? Am I supposed to sing along?
So
he's got some hits, bro.
So I'll say I knew a girl who was in a tent. She was one of like the bartenders at a poker club in Dallas. And I don't know if you guys know about these poker clubs, how they go down, but like these girls pretty much walk around naked.
Yeah, I've heard of
Yeah, and so our boy R. Kelly pulls up to the function and starts sliding and getting frisky with her.
Oh, really?
And actually at like 4 a.m, he calls her and goes, yeah, it's on her Instagram. I unfollowed her because she's just doing some wild stuff. But like, she posted the video of the phone call. Like, she was talking to him.
Really?
And he's like, come on, baby girl. Like, just come to my place. Like, we can hang out for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this was like 2 or 3 years ago, so I'm not going to remember everything that happened. But I know he goes to women like that and finesses them. But to go back to the story about should we listen and support the artist? It's like, because I work very heavily in the music as well, and a lot of people that there's this one big artist, I'm talking like 1 million+ followers, came out for misconducting with like 16-year-old girls. He was inviting them backstage and stuff, and using his fame as like a means. So, and it's like when you listen to these people's music, even though you're earning them like 1/1000th of a penny per your play, it's like you're boosting their numbers.
Yeah.
Like you're putting them up on the
map.
playlist
Yeah,
and
you put them on the
stuff.
map.
So it's like you're pretty much still putting them on there, which is why me personally, as soon as I hear about stuff that happens, I delete it because I don't want you to be able to benefit.
But so the question with that is, R. Kelly is already solidified as like he's
there.
He's been like before. He's like years, like man, like 90s. 2000s.
12 played, man.
But I mean,
I know what you're saying though.
Same thing with Chris Brown.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He never fell off, and he beat one of the most strong women, or most prominent women in the United States culture, and he literally just beat her. And he's still on the map. He's still making music.
He is.
Yeah.
So it happens.
But it's like, and then like you have what's the running back's name from OU? Well, he was from OU. He's in the league now.
Zeke.
No, not Zeke. Zeke went to Ohio State. OU.
Oklahoma.
What's his name? I think it's Joe Mixon or something like that.
What did he do?
And at OU, there's a video of him knocking this girl out.
Oh, that one.
Oh, in the elevator, right?
No, that's Ray Rice, right?
Oh, Ray Rice.
But yeah, that's a video too. But this guy, he got drafted. This is before the draft, and he still got drafted. He's like starting somewhere.
This year?
No, this was like
he's
been a couple years back. But like he's at like they're on campus, and the girl said something to him. It's a little Caucasian.
I think I remember that.
And man, I'm like, dude, probably like 6'1", 230, all muscle dude.
College D1 athlete.
Bro, just like, and this is a little white girl.
Little girl.
He just knocks her out.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
Like I'm like, bro, like. So, like, you look at those things, and it's like, okay, we cut slack for...
Now, I'm not going to lie, there's one reason I would justify that happening. And it's improper usage of a certain word.
I was going to say...
I don't know if she did that.
Right, we don't... Because he didn't come out and say that that's what she said.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not going to put that on her, but I'm just saying, like...
If she did...
Yeah.
Hey, consequences.
Exactly.
But I'm like, man, that's so crazy, like... Never in my life have I ever like wanted to hit a woman.
Me neither, bro.
It doesn't like it's like but some. I mean, I know people that have just done it. Like and the girls that have had like it's more. It happens a lot, and like I didn't know this until you start talking to more people, and they're like, oh yeah, he used to abuse me, and like dang, like.
So my wife and I were watching a TikTok video, kind of to that point where this guy was pranking his wife. And it, on his phone, and however we could see the screen, they were looking at it together, and it popped up, and it said, "Hey, is your wife led? I want to come and get some blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And then she said, "Hey, who is so and so?" And he's like, "Huh?" And he came over, bro. She smacked his face so it made like a clap sound, like boom. He's like, "Oh, I was just pranking you." Oh, I mean, she slapped fire from this dude.
Yeah.
And my wife and of course we do the marriage thing, and we're like, that's not acceptable at all. I mean, I know, of course we don't want men to hit women, but it goes both ways. Don't put your hands on this dude.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
Yeah, it's like that's the same thing. Some people are gonna not agree with that, but it's like you don't want men to hit women, but it's okay if the woman hits man. But I mean, like if you dating one of these CrossFit chicks. And she
gonna square me up.
Yeah, she might clean and press you, then like throw a haymaker. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like where do we make that?
Where do you draw the line?
Yeah,
in
so
it, man?
I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I don't. But but the reason is because a man is typically
stronger,
bigger, stronger. Yeah,
that's just how it is. Yeah. Period. Men are stronger, or they're more dominant when it comes to that. In every species, the man is usually bigger and stronger.
Okay, so apparently another story is like my wife went to high school with this guy. Apparently, was getting my wife's like a master of finding people. FBI investigator. So she went to high school with this guy, and he was posting about like one day he posted about how he was speaking out about abuse, being abused by his girlfriend, and like so my wife's like Goes through, and then she finds the girl, and so she comes to me. She's like, "Yeah, you got abused. Look at this." He's like, "I found the girl." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "You're mutual friends with her on Facebook." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Oh," she's like, "How do you know her?" I was like, "Oh, she used to play basketball like at school, like around the corner." I was like, "How big is your friend?" And she's like, "I don't know, like maybe 5'11", 6 foot." I'm like, "This girl's big. Like she's like me. She's like 6'4", like, probably like at least 200, 190.
So she was putting them hands on this dude.
I was like, I'm like, she's a very large woman. Like, so I'm like, what?
And probably has an attitude to go with it.
Yeah. I was like, I was like, she's not little, bro. She's like literally the size of me. So I'm like, I could see, like, when she said, I'm like, but I'm like, she said her, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a possibility. Very high possibility. She's not a little girl, like, so it's just.
But again, that doesn't excuse it. We should keep our hands to ourselves unless it's in love, consensual love.
Yeah,
we should keep it that way. So, shoot, man, we hit a lot of stuff today, man. We didn't even get through everything, so we'll have to do it. But we do appreciate you bringing your voice to the table,
man.
Aaron.
Whenever I'm available, man, I'll drop by. But you guys y'all are awesome. Love talking with you. Love the points of view we got. Like, I mean, before even getting on this show, man, I don't even like James like that. I'm just kidding. Like, no, me and James go back, but yeah, I mean, you see, like. We have different opinions, and it's okay.
Absolutely. It's okay.
Yeah.
If we don't agree, it doesn't mean we don't like you. It's cool. We can disagree.
Yeah. So
just treat people fairly.
Word for the
treat
world.
people fairly, man. We gotta respect one another.
Word for the world, man.
That
just
is
because,
key, man.
Yeah, learn how to understand people's point of views. Try to, at least, if you're not going to understand, at least put the effort in, man.
Absolutely. As always, guys, if you want to talk about a career in the real estate industry, be it finance or in being as a realtor, please check out the description below. You can contact Steve or myself down on Instagram, Facebook. Also, follow Aaron. He's down there. His link's down there as well in the description.
Yes, and if you guys wonder what title, no one knows what title is, but it's out there. It's a whole industry. So if you are looking to get in the title or some type of have questions about it, like I said, I'm 31. None of my friends know what I do still.
Right.
They're just now starting to be mortgage people and loan officers and real estate. But also, if you have questions, let me know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We appreciate you joining us, guys. And as always, next week, same time, we'll be back here at the Olympian Table. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit. Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge, has an upward surge of mankind, and greed, you mark my words, not only save Teldar paper, but that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA.
All you motherfuckers. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Get you some drink. Promethazine with codeine cough syrup. You put about 4 ounces in a 2 liter. Put some Jolly Ranchers in the bottom of the cup with a bunch of ice. Put it in a styrofoam cup now, or it ain't gonna be no drink.
Hot and Box Club.